Hello again. If you go to a hotel room and you hear noises that are not familiar to you, ask them to change your room. Don't stay there. Okay? If you go to a hotel room and you feel that your head is starting to heat up, you look at yourself in the mirror and you look like a tomato. Change rooms. Okay? Or if possibly, get your money back and get out of there. When the whole thing started, I was very fortunate to find out from the very beginning what was happening to me. And I found a chart that was produced by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Listen to the irony of this. Where the two most important points were the following. You must eat well. You must drink. Do not allow them to dehydrate you because they are going to want to dehydrate you to make the job easier. I have read somewhere, though I don't know if they mean subcutaneous fat or visceral fat. It's easier to burn the muscle, the lean muscle, than the fat. So if possibly, eat well and eat some calories, but not the very bad ones. It's some good chocolate, some good cookies, or some good cake. But don't ingest fat just because of the calories, okay? Do not allow yourself to lose body weight. Don't, okay? Don't. Even if you're not hungry, get yourself some snacks, whatever, but you have to eat every day. Because according to that chart, the end result is death. Okay? Death. It's easier for them to get you weak, dehydrated, to kill you. It's much easier. That's why you cannot stop eating. And they might try to make you throw up. You're eating and they might want you, turn around. Look for an angle where you don't feel the sensation of throwing up. Turn. Okay? Turn and find. If not, get out of where you are and eat somewhere else. If you throw up, get yourself some Pepto-Bismol or Malox or whatever. Okay? And go to the store and buy yourself another lunch or dinner and eat. Because it's not your system that is sick. They are making it feel as if it were sick, and it is not. Okay? I have had cases where I went to purchase lunch in a taxi, and I was hungry, and I would start eating in the cab, and the food would come back, and I would eat it again. You have to be strong. You cannot allow these asses, handicapped mentally asses, have control of your lives. Why? Because you're a woman? Because you're single? Or a widow? Or a divorcee? You had success in life? You're bright and smart? Huh? And they are nothing? Comes to my mind, the desire to say, fuck off, assholes. Sorry. They work in pairs, in other words, in twos. The attackers that were closer to my mother were on both sides of the mansion. Ones were on Cantuarias 350 letter C. Ramon, who was a Spaniard, and Fabricio, an Indian from inner Peru. On another side, there were another couple of gays. Gays. I hate to say this, but I had a very good opinion of some of the gay people that I have met in my life. But after going through the experience with these people for so many years now, my feeling towards gays has changed. I think these are wacko gays. These are not the regular gays that one runs into, that ones that are educated, that identify themselves with who they are, that are smart, that have manners, that know how to treat people, that have control of their impulses. This is the trash of the gay community. I think that's a good expression. This is the trash of the gay community. If you are in a room and you start feeling bombarded, like they're doing to me right now, but you see, I couldn't care less. I have my angels. All those pictures there are my angels. They have, at moments of despair, they have been there for me. Forgive me, I don't want to cry. If you're being attacked, and you know the attack is coming from behind you, try going on the floor. And as far away from there on the floor as possible. If there could be a piece of furniture, something in between, stay there until you find out where you need to go, what you need to do, okay? What you need to do. But don't be afraid. If they get you vomit, don't worry. Drink your Bismutol, Pepto-Bismol, Malox, whatever you have there, and then go and purchase yourself something else to eat. And eat it! They work 24 hours a day, okay? One works 12 hours and the other one 12 hours. So you really are unprotected. You can protect yourself in some ways during the day, and at night, your best bet are these rubber pieces, like the ones behind you that are much bigger. I have around 12 or 15 of the big ones, and I think I have 10 or 12 of the smaller ones that I showed you. And I put the rubber flat part on top and the other side in touch with my body. And because it is a little rough, wear a pair of pajama pants underneath so that you don't get scars on your knees and other parts of your legs. I think that really scares the most out of me is that I have found out that here in Peru, at least in this city, Miraflores, this city used to be a beautiful city. I have lived my life that I lived when I was here in Miraflores. I come from a well-to-do family. We had a beautiful mansion. I don't know if you could see, but it was gorgeous. Okay? It was gorgeous. Now, this city makes you want to puke. People pee on the street. They threw their condoms on the street. The pampers of their kids on the street. Bottles, cups. towels for your period, smells to walk anywhere you go, depresses me a lot. But let me ask you a question. Do you think that now that I know as much as I know, they're going to allow me to fly from here back to the States? I'm sure that if I try to do it, instead of 15 agents, the whole plane is going to be filled up with agents so that I arrive dead or toasted to the United States, my country. As I said, I'm very concerned to see what's happening here. I was staying at a hotel that has a Chilean administrator, and this is very important to say. Martín Ruiz de Gamboa is original from Chile. Chile has something against Peruvians. I may have been born here, but as a little girl, I used to tell my mother that the stork made a mistake, that I did not belong here. She never understood me, but I don't belong here. Okay? I don't. At all. For instance, we have things like suspiro a la limeña. Limeña is the name, is the gentlest of a person that lives in Lima. No, that's Chilean. Ceviche, you know, ceviche is from Peru because of its lime is the best in the world. I don't like ceviche myself, but everybody has to do with ceviche in Peru. No, ceviche is from Chile. Pisco sour was started here in Peru. It's Peruvian. No, it's Chilean. You know, everything that Peru has, according to the Chileans, is Chilean. They have had this animosity towards Peruvian for a very long time. And Martín Ruiz de Gamboa is the name of what would be the word? Apocryph? Hero of Chile that did not get anywhere with what he tried to do. In other words, he's not a successful hero. He's somebody that may have had some ideas, but his life did not come to fruition as far as his goals were concerned. I read the story. It didn't impact me, otherwise I would remember details, but that's his name. And he has a school in Santiago de Chile that bears the same name. And what they do at night is they train people to use their cell phones, any cell phone, on the different equipments, the different programs, the different everything. I know for a fact that they have internet pages on their victims. I have been walking on the street and they have called me whore and drug addict. In Spanish, puta and fumona. I had to check what the meaning of fumona was because I thought it had to do with crack. But I was told fumona is used with anybody that consumes drugs. And whore and prostitute in Spanish is prostituta or puta. Somebody has told me that what they do on those pages is create a defamation to you that is going to start violence on the part of the people that they recruit. And they're going to be editing, doing montages, conversations in order to hurt the people that are part of that base of recruits of the area. And they're going to show pictures of you. They told me that people that receive that or have access to that internet page have told me that. So you see how far do they get? Do you see how far do they get? To have a page on the victim, to show pictures, to intervene and change the communications of the victims with others, portray pictures that are none of their business. Is that what the FBI was hired to do? What have I ever done in the United States? What? I went to the States through the front door because of my father. I went to school in Connecticut and my father paid for it. It was not a scholarship. What did I ever do to anybody there? For 2 years, I fought my condo in Opal Towers to get rid of the thugs and thieves. And in 10 minutes, without an attorney with me to represent me, I won the case. 10 minutes. The people in the building applauded so much, gave me a huge party, and every time they saw me in that office working, they would come down with beautiful trays, with beautiful dishes, wonderful food, because they appreciated my work. Because that's the kind of person I am. I'm not a thug. I'm not a thief. I have values. I have principles. I have discipline. And most of all, I'm not going to let a son of a bitch like you, Martín Ruiz de Gamboa, destroy my life. I'm going to fight and continue fighting until somebody from the FBI gets rid of you and starts saving all the victims. You have killed hundreds and hundreds of people throughout your career, especially women, because you can't stand them. How did you have your kids? With your eyes closed? And that's another thing, ladies and gentlemen. He had 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 girl. Right now, she's in her late 30s. The other ones are in their 40s. The girl and at least one of the boys in jail. Why? He tried to induce them to be drug dealers. And what something isn't born within you, it's not going to develop. I know that the son was at least 3 times in jail. I don't know if he managed to get him out. And that's another important point. Somebody moved to my building in 2011, 2012. But the weird part was that, well, it was the largest unit on the building was the 01, where Martin was and his boss was 501, 301. This guy was in 701. And everything, you're right on the water, and everything was cherry wood, everywhere cherry wood. The group of ladies that were trying to find out what was going on in the building, because the group of Martin was also another questionable group when he was on the board, we realized that his son, the son of this guy, was in jail for drug trafficking in countries such as Thailand. And Martin was like his floor mat. He would go and pick him up from the airport. He would take him to the airport. He would give parties for him. He would have meetings with him. And the son of his guy was also in jail. I don't know how many times, but he had been in jail for at least 2 times. I think he was going through the 3rd time. And they were very close. You know, I think they did what they did in that apartment, that's my opinion, to launder the money, because shortly thereafter they sold the unit. They didn't stay with the unit long enough to have spent the amount of money that they spent to do all that work. I leave it to anybody's imagination, but that's I heard and I've read people do when they want to launder money. They do over improvements in the properties. So the guy left. I don't know what happened. Does Martin work with drug dealers? Yes, he does. I've seen them because they have come to me with knives trying to hurt me while I was trying to do my practice in shooting in West Palm Beach. He does anything that gives him money. That's why I really, in my opinion, think he tried to make his kids get involved there. And the daughter was such a beautiful girl. Such a beautiful girl. So sweet. And I could feel her loneliness. Because she had nothing to do with her mother, nothing to do with her father. The kids, the boys, I do not remember much at all. But the daughter, she was very nice to me. I helped her out once. She broke her ankle. I said to her, don't worry, I'll get you the state-of-the-art walker. And I did. But you know what caught me really by surprise was the fact that when she was through with it, it was left on my door without even a note on a piece of paper or a napkin saying thank you. I'm sure that had to do with the mother. Well, I jump, because that's all that information that comes to my head. Here in Lima, in Miraflores, they are killing so many people. It's disgusting. Christmas decorations, they put whatever ornaments around the window, and at night, the shooting like gun machine going in one direction. I put that in one of my earlier videos, disappeared. I go to another, which is the reason why I started talking about the Chileans, a hotel called La Faraona, where the administrator is a Chilean. He didn't want anybody to provide me with ice. That's why I remember this guy. And when I went down the stairs, these people are so cowards. He hid behind the door as if I couldn't see him. And I said to his face, you're a coward, piece of shit. And somebody came with the ice for myself. I was dying of the headache that they had given me the day before, and I continued having it. I was able to see all kinds of beams. For instance, from Casa Andina, 5-star hotel, almost across from where their headquarters, at least for that district, is located, they had 3 windows in diagonal, 1, 2, 3, with white lights. They had another window with red and green lights like this. Oh, I'm sorry, like this. They had another building facing in another direction with other color lights. I don't show them to you because the videos have been erased. Needless to say, most of my videos and my pictures are gone because they delete anything they want from my cell phones and the cell phones of the people to whom I send the information. That's how they work. You see, these people have no limits. Martín thinks he's God, but he is the most cowardly God I have ever heard of. Because God is supposed to give face. This guy doesn't have a face. He hides like a rat when he commits a crime. Do you think he made the trips to Peru to check on the activities? He was sending his brother, but try to look for his brother on internet now that he's America's most watched list from the government. There is no way to be found the Martín Ruiz de Gamboa in Chile, his brother that was taking care of operations here, and going back and forth to Miami to meet with his brother in Hillsborough Beach. Martín didn't make the international trips. No, he was not there. No, I didn't have anything to do with it, That's the way he talks. He's a coward. A coward. So here they're killing. How many people are they killing? I go to another hotel looking for small hotels. And I couldn't sleep. And I complained to the administrator. I'm not going to say anything about him. I don't want to identify that person. And that person says to me, it's a boy. It's a man who lives behind us. He does it. He does it. Go on the other side of the block. I go and I saw he was sitting in the park across from his house, non-stop, non-stop, non-stop. There are many wackos like him, many wackos like him. They think they're playing a video game. They're shooting at phantoms, you know? They don't think they're shooting at human beings. I don't know what's happening to the human world, really. This whole thing is totally ridiculous. FBI, you should be ashamed of yourself. I wonder what happens with the CIA. Is that the same thing? Shame on you. Shame on you. If I had been a member of your team and I find out what I know today, I would have resigned in a jiffy. Another important thing for you to do is don't trust the authorities there. When this whole thing started for me, I read several times on the internet that they say, don't waste your time talking to the authorities. They are not going to pay attention or do anything for you. I say the same thing to you. Don't even bother. They won't believe you. And what are you going to show as a proof? Maybe before I do this, I'm going to show you this. When the Croatians arrived in September, and my hairdresser, thanks to her, Pina is her name, told me about that hickey on the back of my knee. The hickey that I have is, have you ever seen an electrocardiogram? The frequencies up and down, a straight line, up, down, higher, lower. Okay. My hickey was an electrocardiogram, but in a round shape. Okay? They did the same thing on my fingers here. This was their edge. Here. It hurt like hell. And if I use some kind of nail polish, I could see the frequencies on those fingers and these fingers as well. You know what else they did? The ceiling in the apartment where I live is popcorn. So if they try to draw something, it's not possible. They stamped the same circle on my ceiling. The same circle. I tried to have that enlarged, but they couldn't enlarge it any further. Don't ask me why. But this is all I got. But that was not the only reason why I stopped, because I wanted to show you these pictures. When the whole thing started, and I was totally taken aback by the fact that I didn't know what to expect. For instance, with that thing in the back of my leg, Croatians, Scandinavians, Venezuelans from the lowest background. They were above me, and even though it was an apartment, they yelled as if they were, I don't know where. They did drugs, or their friends did drugs. The smell would come down because they did it in the bathroom. It was disgusting. I complained. They gave orders. The president of the building is another criminal. Okay? He became an accomplice and ordered the reception to say that there was nobody in that apartment. So if you complained about noises, they would say, but there is nobody in that apartment. But there is nobody in that apartment. I was in a very nice hotel a few blocks from here, and I felt like somebody had opened a faucet and something was flowing into my foot, my left foot. I sat up right away. I couldn't sleep the rest of the night, and I said to myself, the next day I'm not going to sleep at all. I'm going to see how can I fight this back. So that started. What I did, I used insulating tape and I wrapped it around my foot, the areas that had been affected by their attacks. That's my foot. Here are my toes. That's the bunion that they made it so large. My bunion was not like that. What they had done is they had developed. I had a fracture years ago here. They keep hitting at it and it hurt like hell. They made a portal for the electricity here. It was a bag. You could see and feel the bag underneath. Okay? So that's where they actually use, that's what they use to insert the electricity into my body. So that day, I put the insulating tape, as you can see in this picture, on my fingers and all around my foot, and I did it very tight. It was not enough. I put my sock on and I applied more tape and stronger. It burned like hell, like I had fireworks on my foot and they were bursting here, there, anywhere. I had to get a pair of scissors and cut because I couldn't take the time to get the tape first. No, I had to cut. I could not see my toes. This part here of my foot, up to here, was swollen. My whole foot, but here I couldn't see the bottom of my toes. For some reason, because I'm not a picture person, I'm not a cell phone person, I'm not a WhatsApp person, but here everybody walks around, which drives me nuts. Nobody on the street likes a phone. They have the phone on their hand. It's like they don't have money to eat, but they have a cell phone. I decided to take some pictures, and here are the pictures. They use this part of your nails, here or here, especially your right hand, to drill little holes and leave like a callus there. And if you try to use an emery board at night, oh my God, it would be painful. And the whole thing will start all over again the following day. So they did that to my hands. They still do now. They still do. They try to hurt you because through that scar or through that blister, it's easier for them to canalize or conduct the electricity. So this was the portal. Okay? This was the portal. Here is another picture of the portal. Look how they destroy your feet. Look at your feet, your foot. Look at your nails. They destroy your foot. They just destroy your foot. And these pictures are for 3 days after the attack. When I said to myself, I should take pictures. Look at my foot 3 days later. Just look at my foot. Look at my foot. The doctor said, of course, those are burn injuries. Of course. Electricity. What else? So that's how they electrified my foot. But they were so stupid again! But instead of stopping, when I started to fight back, these asses started fighting against me. The consequence was that that big portal that had taken them time to create got destroyed. Same for me. The portal was lost. So that sensation of a faucet being opened and inserted into my body was gone. But that's to show you how stupid these people are in doing their jobs. They can't get quality people to do this kind of crap because usually quality people have values, have honesty, decency, and they respect the human beings and the life of others. Not like these beggars, because some of them, most of them here are beggars. People without education. They don't even have a house. They live out on the street. That's the people they have recruited here. They come with their cell phones and they don't even know what they're shooting, what they're pressing. They don't even know what they're pressing. They don't. You know, it's so frustrating, and at the same time, I have always been a good people person. I like people. I have been very well educated. I told you I come from a very good family background. I have lived the life that many would dream and never get to live. And I have never hurt anybody. I don't like hurting people. I'm an animal lover. I help animals. I rescue animals. I cure animals. I sterilize animals. I help people prepare dogs for adoptions. I help. And usually people that have those feelings toward animals are good people. And I am a good person. I have always been a good person. I don't deserve to be going through this. To be watching every movement from my body, every reaction from my body. I do not have a life. I cannot dress anything I would like to dress. These, for instance, are men's boxers. But here you have my belts. I have taken the metal out to sit down with you. But these are boxers for men. Because my legs, I don't know if you will be able to see. No, you can't. My legs should not come in contact with each other, cannot rub. So I wear them all the way down so that my parts do not have contact with anything. I have all these belts. So I cannot wear a pair of pants. I cannot wear a nice shirt. And summertime, just be... I can't. Because that SOB decided that he wanted to destroy my life and destroy my property. He couldn't destroy my property, and now I don't have my property anymore. So there you failed, asshole. I think sincerely, I'm going to tell you what I think. I think he sees me as a giant. Somebody that he could never achieve, somebody he could never be with at the same level. You are at the level of my toe or less. You are a cheap coward. Every time I drove into the building and you drove after me, you wouldn't get out of the car until they told you I was already in my apartment. That's how coward you are. You can't stand women with strength, with values, with principles, with brains. You can't take it. He was so stupid, another stupid one, and the stupidest one, that he wanted to compete against me. And, ladies, when I came from the hospital after he almost took me to a VTAC, which is ventricular tachycardia, to the edge of death, the first attack, almost a month after he threatened me officially, I go down on the parking lot and I stopped in the guest parking. Martín comes down on the parking and parks right next to me. Rolls down the co-pilot window. He had glasses, dark, big. It didn't make any sense to the size of his face, his head. I mean, they were ridiculous. He takes them off. He grabs one of the arms and starts doing something like this. Looking at me as saying, "Do you see how powerful I am?" Then he rolls up the window and he goes down to his parking garage. If you only knew the many of things that he's done. He's taken things out of my apartment, put them out on the floor, on the street, on the parking area, and then cover them with sand so that they wouldn't fly with the wind, that I would find them when I'm not going to go there. But, he wanted me to know how powerful. So he's shown me all his weapons. He's shown me all his weapons. That was his mistake. Because I didn't just let the time go by. I kept trying to figure out until I think I did. Electricity and microwave are their biggest weapons. That's why it is so cheap and why it is so widespread in the Western world. It doesn't cost any money. And here in Latin America, the lamps they use for the microwave are the obsolete ones, the ones that have to be hand carried on a table. Not like the ones on the States that you actually carry like this. They have a wood handle. They have a convex glass flat on the back, and you carry them with a long cord around your hand. Nobody says a word. The other one calls your attention. And those are the ones that are in my building right now. On 1001, 1004, 902, 1102. He's a serial murderer. He is a serial murderer. Do you know how he killed Herb Slipher? Herb was the guy in the building. I think he was in 412 or 414 on the fourth floor. He was a nice guy, very friendly, and I would say a womanizer too. And he had a magnet to women because they really, responded to him. He was close to 80. He was very tall. But it seems to me that he may have had a very luxurious life, or he may have spent more than what he should. I don't know the story. But it got to a point where um, one day he made me feel like he was going he was entering into a phase where he had financial issues. We were not close friends, but he parked very close to me. He tried to get involved with me. I was a very good looking woman before all this crap started. And I was not interested. I went to dinner once in his house. He prepared some pasta, early dinner. I told him because I don't eat late at night. And that was the end of it. And I think one day a group of people went out for drinks. Had just been elected president. They invited me, and I went with them. And we came back very early. I think we had one drink, and we were back. And he had terrible teeth. They look like the shark's teeth, like they're twisted to an end. He went on the board, and sometime later, I see him, and I saw his teeth. I don't remember if it was up and down, but I remember up, there were normal teeth, and I know that's very expensive. And I said to myself, he doesn't have money to change a car. He had a Lincoln, a very nice white with blue top, but it was time to change vehicles. And I said to myself, I wonder what he's doing on the board. Well, the son told the story to us. Martín said to him, listen, you get money from the association for a $3 million insurance policy. $3 million insurance policy, and we'll give you 300,000. You will not know anything about the policy. You will not be the beneficiary. You will not be anything. Just get to pay what you're asked to pay. And this poor guy, he was probably close to 80, but in very good shape, may I say, apparently signed the deal. Do you think he ever got the $300,000? Do you think? Of course not. The day in which you could make effective the payment of that policy, he was found dead. The 2 prior days, or the prior 2 days, they were found searching for him in a building. I was president of that building, ladies and gentlemen. We had 3 elevators, 3 set of stairways. In 15 minutes, we would have known if he was in any common area. 2.5, almost 3 days. It turned out, according to the son, that Martín Ruiz de Gamboa had the insurance policy through his boss purchased through Lincoln Financial, which is a very important firm in the U.S. Who the agent is, I have no idea. That information the son didn't provide. The daughter said the same things as the son, but they didn't have the name of the agent at Lincoln and what office or location that agent was. He was almost 7 feet tall, yeah, or maybe more. And he was found in a stretch, in a very narrow balcony, on a fire exit balcony. The depth was not even a yard, and he was sat with his legs flexed, his head like this, and a bruise on his neck. How do you fall like that, and you hit your head. If there is nothing behind you that could have hurt your head. One of the hypotheses was that he was accustomed to eating with a friend of his from across the street on the ocean side. They would get a pizza on Saturday afternoon. They think that the pizza was interfered by two of Martin's men who delivered the pizza to Herb's apartment, Herb's liver, and they never let him go. The hypothesis also says that they probably during 2 days weakened with the poison his heart so much that they had to give him a very low blow, drop him where they dropped him, and he would be dead. When they came to pick him up, everybody on their own went to the police of Hillsborough and said, there is foul play, there is foul play, there is foul play. But they wanted all of us to sign papers, and we didn't want to sign papers. But most people in the building knew there was something wrong with this. Nobody believed that he had fallen because it was impossible. You see, even when he tries to make excuses, his excuses are as stupid as he is. Let me tell you what Martin did besides that. He destroyed the apartment. Destroyed the apartment. How do I know? One day, I was walking in the hallways, and somebody asked me some questions and introduced herself, and she had purchased the apartment. And she said to me, could you tell me why is the apartment in the condition it is in? And I said, what do you mean? All the walls and floors are destroyed. The bedrooms too. And I remember the threat that he had made to me. And I said, well, I can't tell you. I haven't been to his apartment. And she said, would you like to come with me? And I said, no, I don't want to see that apartment. Thank you very much. And I didn't go there. Later, after his death, what happened was that the son who did drugs, who apparently was thrown out of the military or the Navy or whatever, and was doing real estate in Georgia, came with his eyes all red, and the ladies of the group said, this guy is on drugs. He didn't talk too much at the beginning, but he reached the point where he blurted everything out, what I just told you. And then one of the other ladies talked to the daughter, the sister of this guy, who repeated exactly the same things. That's how we found out that Martin was involved in that murder for $3 million. And Herb never collected a penny. I mean, was it foolish on his part? Of course he was foolish. You don't do things like that. I mean, but he tempted the devil, and he got what he would get from the devil. In my audios, instead of saying exhaust pipe, I may have used the word exhaust too. Forgive me. Today, I feel better than I have felt in the last few weeks. And it's always an effort to concentrate because of the lack of sleep and the distress that you are under. So forgive me in advance if I made some mistakes with my English. I was very good at it, but I have no opportunities to practice nowadays. I used to be very good with French and Italian. And the same is happening too because I don't have the opportunity to practice those languages either. Um, okay. Let's say for a moment that you are on the street. I told you about those little bumps. You should have one on your right and one on your left, very much at the same level, here and here. My left right now is a little swollen, and this one is flattened. If you feel, go home. Have you heard of arnica? Arnica, rubbing alcohol or any anti-inflammatory gel? Just rub it on. Press. I said this to you earlier. You might start burping. Who cares? The more air you throw out, the better. Through here or through back there. Just press. Okay? Press. If you have this on your head, use your helmet because that pounding for a whole day can give you the most awkward and disgusting headache of your life. Okay? Immediately rub something on your head and use the materials I described or try different materials, but the remedy has to be used immediately. Okay? It could happen that instead of just a hit, you might feel something like to me, it's like they're making a conductor on your head where they will shoot a lot of electricity for whatever purpose. Okay? They do that for whatever purpose. And you may not think about it, and later on you could have a spot here, a spot there that you didn't have before. So don't be careless with whatever hit. Don't stop checking on your areas. Don't start checking on your breasts. Don't stop eating. Don't stop drinking water or fluids. Don't ever sleep on your back. Ever. Never, ever. This is for somebody else. Excuse me. Is Martín Ruiz de Gamboa involved in drug dealing? Yes, I think he's involved in protecting gang dealers. Drug dealers, forgive me. Yes, he is. I told you in Palm Beach County, I got to the shooting arena for practicing purposes. Right now they're shooting at my face. And what happened was that when I arrived, there was a black, old Japanese car that resembled a limo. This is a picture from TV. The driver's door was open. The chauffeur was out. He was all in leather, very, very skinny, fringes on his jacket. I think he had some silver-like applications, hair all over his face, long hair around his head. And the back seat, the door was closed. and was nobody out. He was cleaning his nails with a blade. Well, I just observed. And I was waiting for my turn to go in. And to be honest with you, I don't like guns. I hate the noise they make. They make me jump. But the police wanted me, under the circumstances, to get a permit. I got the permit, I got the gun, and I had to go and practice, and I hated to have to do that. And all of a sudden, this driver comes in with somebody else. He grabbed his phone like this and did this to me, to my heart, and shot directly to my heart. He was the boss. So they were there to either threaten me or hurt me on behalf of Martín Ruiz de Gamboa. So are you going to tell me that he has nothing to do with drugs and drug dealers? Of course he does. Look what he did with his kids. He destroyed their lives. FBI, when are you going to stop this? He's been after me since 2003. Almost 20 years officially as a gang stalker since 2011, but hurting my life since 2003, right after he moved into the building. Now he's on your watch list. Why can't you get him? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you have family that have been hurt in the States, this is the information that I have. He is supposed to be at 6438 Rosa Flora, one word, Rosaflora Lane in Pensacola. He has different names now. He goes under Martín Ruiz de Gamboa, one word. De Gamboa is two words. He has Martín Ruiz de Gamboa, one word, 68 years old. Then he has another one, Martín Ignacio, Ignacio, Ruiz, then the word D, capital D, Gamboa. His daughter has Andrea Ruiz Gamboa, no D-E. Another name for her is Andrea Snell, Snell. His wife is Cecilia R. Gamboa. Cecilia Alejandra Ruiz, capital D-E, another word, Gamboa. Another one is Cecilia Ruiz dash D Gamboa, small d, one word. His son Thomas because he doesn't have an H, is Thomas D, capital D-E, Gamboa. You see what he's done? Another one is Tomás de Ruiz. No es Ruiz de Gamboa. It's de Ruiz Gamboa. D-E-R-U-E-Z Gamboa. And the other son is Matias Ruiz de Gamboa. Capital D-E Gamboa. Also capital. So he's been now using all these different names to get around what? I don't know. I really don't know what he's doing, but his brother, who lived in Chile, I don't know if he's still in Chile, maybe he's running too because he's another coward, was Raul. I think it was Raul, his name. And I don't know where he's at. I tried to look for him on the internet. I haven't been able to. I don't know what else to say to you right now. That's all the information I have so far. If you go to Truth Finder, you're gonna find it's too clear. It says government watch list notice. Our record indicates that the name Martín Ruiz de Gamboa, capital D-E, another word Gamboa, is on a government watch list sourced by the federal government or another government agency. They have found, if you go into the information, that he's worth millions of dollars in real estate property. I wonder how much of that property has been found and how much hasn't been found yet, because he's been doing this, I'm sure, for a very long time. And it says here, this information is sourced from official government records. So I'm not making this up. If you want to go and get the full story, go to truthfinder.com. It's going to cost you money, but it's worth it. It's going to tell you what states he's been in. I think I have the states here. What cities. Let me see. If it's on these pages here. No, it's not on these pages. Might be somewhere else that I haven't taken out for these videos. But I know for a fact that he's been, I think, New Hampshire, Florida, California, Texas, and I think there is another state there. But he must have been just a simple agent because he doesn't have what it takes to be a leader. He has what it takes to be a coward, to be a criminal, to be an assassin, a serial killer, and hide, because that's what he does. He hides once he commits crime. He thinks he's God, and the proof is that he gives the keys of the laundry machines to the maintenance guy so that he does favors to him. And that money represented $10,000 to $12,000 of income, additional income to the building. But he couldn't care less. He's God. He's God. FBI, federal government, if you are watching, I have you do something about this, because if I had been a spy, if I had been a murderer, if I had sold secrets from the government to another country, if I had done something to hurt the country that I love the most, the US of America, I could understand to some degree what he's doing, because you should have just hold me and take me to jail and start my process. But what did I do? What did I do? Huh? I want my life back. I want my life back. And I hope you do something about this. And somebody's going to be responsible for all this as well.